A very warm welcome to our esteemed guest of today, Mr. Sahil Virani, and our loving viewers. So, Mr. Sahil Virani is a managing partner of Empire Realty. He has a rich vein of experience in the real estate industry, post completing his MBA in marketing and international business from Amity Business School in the year 2011. Mr. Sahil Virani started his own entrepreneurial venture called Wisemen Realty, which achieved massive success as one of the leading real estate mandate firms of Mumbai. Having a combined wealth of experience of more than 40 years in real estate industry of his family and delivery of more than 10 lakh square feet, Mr. Sahil Virani in the year 2018 decided to rebrand Virani Group of companies as Empire Realty. Virani Group, which is also now one of the emerging brands in redevelopment industry of Mumbai, buildings by Empire are created to be the best and most attractive in the world. So, me on behalf of IC Tales, welcome you, sir. And how are you?
Thank you. I'm good. How about you?
I'm also great. So, let's start with our discussion of today.
Sure.
So, what is your favorite part of being in a real estate industry?
See, the favorite part working in the real estate industry is you get to meet a lot of people. There are different types of people. They come from different ethnic backgrounds. They speak different languages. And, the best part about it is everyone has the single need. That is the need for a home. But having to go through their kind of preparations and what kind of planning do they have, it really gives you an insight about a lot of things in life. One of the things being that a house is a person's life savings. If they're coming ahead and if they're booking a house with you, they have to think about so many things: the child education, the loan, the repayment of the loan. How are they going to arrange for the funding? So when you interact with these guys, you get to learn there's a lot of insight onto what a common man faces, especially in a city like Bombay, wherein the real estate prices are so high. And owning a house, as you say, in Bombay is everyone's dream. People come from all across India and they feel like, okay, I want to own a house in Bombay or Mumbai. It's not that easy. So when you're working in this particular field, you have so much kind of experiences, and when you interact with these guys, you get to learn a lot. It gives you an enlightenment factor even to your own life. So it's pretty good. Yeah.
So that's cool. So what qualities do you believe make up an effective leader?
See, a leader should always lead from the front. I strongly believe that a good company is run by a leader who always is ready to be at the front of the line and not at the back. A lot of the employees, a lot of them look up to you, as in how do you set an example, your work ethics, your decorum in the office, and the way you conduct yourself leaves a lasting image and an impression on these guys. You want to create an environment wherein all of the employees, they think of the company as a family. And when you think of the firm as a family, you tend to work more efficient and diligently. You can have people coming from 9 to 5 working and going back home, but you don't want that. You want people who actually work for the organization and they think on a holistic approach and they think on an overall angle. So I think a good leader is the one who inspires people to work in the fashion that he wants them to work. And good employees make up for a successful organization, I strongly believe.
Sure. So what is the biggest challenge you faced when you initially started?
The biggest challenge that I faced when I initially started was COVID. That was the biggest thing, because as my first project took off, that was Empire Towers in Goregaon. That was 31st of August. I still remember the date, 2020, when the lockdown had just opened. If you remember, in the month of March, we were having that lockdown period. I did the Bhumi Pujan, and there was a surge in COVID cases everywhere. So what happened was, when we were planning and we had done so much homework in the COVID period, we'd done the designing, the MEP planning and all those things, suddenly everything just came to a halt. There were restrictions in working. There were rules laid down by the government in terms of working hours, and you had to do continuous testing, which I feel in a city like Mumbai, especially in real estate, is very, very difficult, because you have an organized sector and an unorganized sector into construction industry, and having the job to keep a tab on all these things was very difficult. So that was one. And other thing, of course, was the sales, because people just went into their shell and no one wanted to really go ahead and invest. They wanted to have a wait and watch approach. So we also kind of were just riding the wave. We were just going through it and see how it goes. So it was a bit of a kind of a jittery situation, but God was kind and we pulled it through. So we are reaping the rewards today. So yeah, I can just see it that way.
There is in even one industry who had not been affected by COVID, I guess.
Correct, 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 correct.
So moving on. So do you have a hobby outside of work that helps you to be a better leader?
Yes, I do. I love, and I mean, I love fitness. I love to be fit. So my day starts early morning. My day starts at 6 a.m. in the morning. Of course, doing my father duty, dropping my kids to school. And after that, I just give that 1 hour dedicated in the gym towards myself, towards my mind and my body. Because if you are mentally fit and if you're physically fit, I think you can do a lot of a better work in the office as well. It gives you a different approach towards things. You are more positive towards things. And as you say, health is a real wealth. You can have a truckload of money, but if you don't have the health to enjoy that, I think that's of no use. So I love being fit. Apart from that, I love exploring the world, traveling places. The more cities I visit, the more countries I go to, I get to learn about their culture. I have a penchant for understanding how the architecture works, in especially in European countries. You have those Gothic designs and the cobbled streets when you go to Switzerland. So that kind of inspires me to do something on those lines to my projects in Bombay as well. Now, probably there might come a day wherein I might open up my own Grand Central Park like you have in New York City. Having those high-rise Manhattans and having a Central Park right in the middle of it. So it's an inspiration, it's an aspiration, but it's all here. So let's see.
And desires are no limit, like there's no limit to sky, okay?
Correct,
One
correct,
day.
correct, correct.
So, as you mentioned in the previous question, that COVID was a real great challenge for you. So, what are the major changes that you brought after lockdown?
So one of the major changes I brought under lockdown was especially giving flexible working hours to my employees. Initially, there used to be a restrained working hour. We used to work from 10 to 6, 10 to 7. But at times, we have this flexi working hours for our staff. If they want to work from home, if there's a project that they need to complete, we give them that facility as well. Secondly, well-being of the entire staff is very, very important. We understood the importance of the human resource. See, you have to understand that you cannot automate or you cannot mechanize this. The humans with their soft interpersonal skills are the actual asset of the company, and
Exactly.
uh, and you have to make sure that they are in right state and the right state of mind to work for you. You need to have employee benefit programs, and you need to have these regular, probably a get together or something like that, to make sure that they feel at home. What happened was, during COVID lockdown, there was a lot of uncertainty in this particular sector. People were not getting their salaries, people were getting half the salary and whatnot. So what happened was, there was the actual relationship between an employer and an employee got little sour. What we have done is we've bridged the gap. We make them feel at home. We make sure that they take this company as their own, and it's kind of an automated process. Because what's going to happen is, if they are the ones who are going to run the company on the grassroots level, it makes my life very easy. sitting here and managing them. So I can then focus on to more other things wherein I can, acquire more land parcels and I can do my other things, wherein I know that there's a team who's working dedicatedly day in, day out. So that was a difference in approach, especially after COVID was yes.
Sure. So, uh, you are associated with Empire Realty since a pretty long time. So, what all changes you experienced in the working culture from that to present time?
Organizational skills and management. What used to happen was, of course, this company started, which was Virani Builders, started by my late grandfather in the year 1974. They had a different working culture. When my father took over, it was about in 1980s during my birth. They introduced a different culture. But what I noticed is that every 10 years or every 15 years, there's a difference, there's a change in the organizational setup of the companies. You have to change with time.
Exactly.
Time dedicated, time dictates what you need to do and what you don't need to do. The customer jauntry has completely changed. You know, yeah, before, customers used to be, bit different. They didn't probably used to get too much into the nitty-gritties of things, but right now they know everything. They come to you with your records, they come to you with your RERA certificate, they come to you with your financial background. So there is no hiding, which was not the case earlier. It was more on trust. So you have to have a different approach towards these guys. And that is where I have understood that you need a very strong CRM team, which I'm blessed with. So the relationship management with the customers, my accounting team, everyone needs to be, approachable to these guys. And if you are approachable to these guys, it automatically leads to a lot of trust generation again. That indirectly helps us, helps me, and overall it makes the journey bit more simpler for everyone.
Of course. So, as we see the ongoing hustle culture, where people,
Mm.
especially in the corporates, are not able to manage their time for themselves and for their family, a full work and life balance is not established right now. So, what are your views on that, and how should people find a balance?
I think people who are really into the corporate culture should take their house visits as a meeting. How do I look at it is, post 7 o'clock, I have meeting with my kids, I have meeting with my wife, and when I'm meeting them, I don't attend to anyone else. You need to differentiate your time. You have to have a blow off point, a switch off point. Especially with real estate, there's a lot of things that goes on financially, legally, acquisition, and things like that. You need to regenerate your energies again. To do that, family is very, very important. And you have to make sure that your mind is switched off when you're with them, because if you're not refueling your body enough at regular interval, you will burn out very quickly. I have had people who have kind of slowed down after a certain age or slowed down after a certain period for no reason. They were absolutely fine, but it was just that they were just going out and not really regenerating themselves again and again. So that really slowed them down. So if you think onto the long term perspective, especially if you want to sustain for the next 15-20 years, I think you need to strike a balance and take all your day as a part of the meeting, so be strict with
Mm,
it.
sure, that's a real good point of view to think it in that way. So, moving forward, last but not the least,
Right,
as we
right.
saw, as we saw big startup giants gaining a lot of appreciation for thinking about their employees' mental health by giving them days off and other facilities at the prerequisites. So, what are your views on that, and how well it should be incorporated in all the companies?
As again, I'll again reiterate that an employee or a human resource are the real fuel of the company. They have to be in a good state of mind. Their burnout points needs to be taken care of. What happens is we generally have these weekly offs wherein my central office has an off on a Sunday and my site staff has an off on a weekday. What we do is we tend to shuffle them a lot, give them on job training. When we were doing our MBA, during my B school days, we used to have job rotation policies.
Yeah.
wherein a person does not become monotonous and the work style does not become stagnant. So what I do is, there are similar jobs wherein a CRM is there, an accounts team is there, or an acquisition team is there. I keep on shuffling them, after every 2 months or 3 months. So they have something new to look up to, plus they have something new to learn. And when an employee learns new things, the human resource tends to grow. The more knowledge that they acquire, probably 4 years or 3 years down the line, they might head that department. You don't know. And if they grow, you grow. And I look at it in a way wherein in a company, everyone should know everything. Because a company should never be handicapped or never be dependent on a single individual unit, because that becomes dangerous. If there is a collapse of that department, and the company will shut down. So I am a bit of a different school of thought. I think there has to be, you have to treat it as a more of a casual work training approach, wherein everyone should have an experience factor. And the more diligently they work, again, your company is going to benefit.
It's all about the holistic development.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes.
So that was all from my side. I would like you to give a message to the viewers at the end.
Sure, sure. So my message to the viewers would be that any investment in any field, investment in real estate is a real investment. So be positive about it. People tend to have this approach wherein the market is not going up or not going down. But I think if you take the history of the past 100 years, it is only real estate wherein your principal money has been saved, and it has been appreciated rather than depreciated. So think long, and Sahi investment is the real estate investment, is I would give a message to all my young people and all my viewers, all your viewers across the world.
So it was really nice talking to you, Mr. Said, and
Thank
I
you.
hope everyone learned a lot from you and you also enjoyed it. So thank you
Definitely.
so much for your precious time. I hope you have a good day.